What was the best moment you've seen where the real world hit a spoiled rich kid? My freshman year of college, I ended up rooming with this kid who came from a seriously wealthy oil family in the Middle East. You could tell just by looking at him. Always dressed sharp, perfectly groomed, and honestly, a little out of place in the dorm scene. He had that never had to lift a finger vibe, and it was obvious he was struggling with the sudden independence college threw at him. One of the funniest and most telling things happened early on, when he had to face the reality of doing his own cooking. Back home, he'd never had to make a meal himself. There were cooks and helpers to do all that. So the whole idea of getting food ready was completely new and foreign to him. One morning, I rolled out of bed and made my way to the kitchen to grab something for breakfast. I opened the door, and there he was, standing over the stove, looking completely lost. In front of him was a frying pan with some eggs and toast. I could tell something was off. He turned to me and asked, "Hey, how do you normally make fried eggs?" Mine taste crunchy. I barely held back my laughter because the eggs in the pan looked a bit strange. Curious, I asked him to show me what he'd done. He walked me through his method. "I just cracked the egg whole into the pan," he said. I looked closer, and then it hit me. He'd cracked the eggs with the shell still attached. The shell was frying right alongside the egg. Little crunchy bits everywhere. I couldn't stop laughing, but I also felt bad for the guy. This was a real wake-up call for him. He was suddenly responsible for the most basic things, like cooking breakfast, and it wasn't coming naturally. Over the next few weeks, I helped him out whenever I could, showed him how to boil water, scramble eggs properly, even make a sandwich. Each time, it was a new challenge for him, and he'd mess it up in some hilarious way. But he was determined, and you could tell he wanted to get better. It was more than just learning to cook. It was the moment he realized that growing up meant handling your own messes, no matter how trivial. He never became a master chef or anything close, but by the end of the semester, he could manage simple meals without disaster. And that was a big deal for him. Watching someone go from total dependence to even a little independence was a reminder that no matter how much money or privilege you have, life still demands basic skills. It's humbling, awkward, and sometimes hilarious, but it's part of growing up. That roommate's egg disaster became one of those classic college stories that stuck with me, proof that everyone has to start somewhere, even if you grew up with people catering to your every need.